This merry go round, it spins me around.
The moment the cameras started rolling, the entire set went silent, under the dazzling carousel lights, and transformed completely into professionals no one could take their eyes off. Despite filming for hours without rest, they repeated every scene flawlessly, fixing even the smallest mistakes without a single complaint. While the staff watched in amazement behind the monitors, one thing became clear that night. Merry Go Around was not just another music video. It was proof of why millions of ARMY continued to admire their dedication, passion, and unmatched professionalism. From the very beginning of the shoot, the atmosphere on set felt intense. The production team had prepared one of the biggest indoor carnival stages they had ever worked on, complete with glowing carousel horses, endless rows of golden lights, and artificial rain systems installed above the main set. Everyone knew the concept of Merry Go Around required both emotional acting and physically demanding choreography, which meant the filming would continue far into the night. Even before the director called everyone into position, Jimin was already practicing his expressions in front of a small mirror, while Jungkook carefully reviewed the choreography video on a tablet beside the stage. Their focus alone was enough to make the younger staff members nervous. As filming officially began, the first scene required them to run across the empty carnival set, while singing along to the playback under flashing lights. It looked simple on camera, but in reality the floor had become slippery from the rain effects, making every movement difficult to control. During the first take, one of the camera operators accidentally missed the timing for an important close-up shot. Instead of getting frustrated, Jungkook immediately suggested repeating the entire sequence, so the final result would look perfect for the viewers. Jimin agreed without hesitation, even though both of them were already exhausted after several hours of rehearsals earlier that day. Their determination quietly impressed everyone watching from behind the screens. Hours passed, yet neither of them showed signs of slowing down. Between takes, Jimin carefully monitored every playback scene with the director, paying close attention to even the smallest emotional details in his expressions. Meanwhile, Jungkook continued practicing difficult movements alone near the side of the set, repeating the same spin over and over until the choreographer finally nodded in satisfaction. The staff could not stop talking about how seriously they approached every scene. For Jimin and Jungkook, it was never enough to simply finish filming. They wanted every second of the music video to feel meaningful. As midnight approached, the filming became even more challenging. The director decided to shoot the main emotional scene under heavy artificial rain, while the carousel continued spinning behind them. The temperature inside the studio dropped quickly, and many staff members had already started wearing thick jackets to stay warm. Yet the moment the music started playing again, Jimin and Jungkook stepped back into character immediately, as if the cold no longer affected them. Their emotional acting felt so natural that the entire set became silent after the director yelled, "Cut!" Even some crew members admitted they got chills watching the scene unfold in real time. During a short break, the two of them finally sat down near the edge of the carousel, while makeup artists rushed over to fix their wet hair and outfits. Despite looking completely exhausted, Jungkook still laughed with the staff and thanked each person who continued working late into the night. Jimin, on the other hand, quietly checked the monitor again because he felt one particular scene could still be improved. When the director told him the take was already perfect, he simply smiled and replied that ARMY deserved the best version possible. Hearing that made several staff members exchange emotional smiles because it reminded them how deeply the two artists cared about their fans. Not long after, filming resumed for the final dance sequence of the night. This scene required complicated camera movements, synchronized choreography, and perfect timing with the lighting effects. Everyone on set looked tense because even one small mistake could ruin the entire take. However, once the music began, Jimin and Jungkook performed with unbelievable precision, as if they had endless energy left. Every movement matched the rhythm perfectly, every expression looked genuine, and every step felt effortless despite the exhausting conditions around them. When the song finally ended, the studio exploded into applause before the director could even speak. The director slowly stood up from his chair, staring at the monitor in disbelief before finally announcing that the scene was complete. The entire production team immediately clapped loudly, some of them even cheering because they knew they had just witnessed something special. Jimin and Jungkook bowed politely toward the staff, thanking everyone for their hard work despite being visibly tired themselves. Under the fading carousel lights, the atmosphere suddenly felt emotional, because everyone realized this was more than just another filming schedule. It was a moment created by two artists who poured their entire hearts into every performance. By the time filming officially ended, the sun was already beginning to rise outside the studio. Most of the staff looked exhausted, yet no one wanted to leave immediately because the energy from the night still lingered in the air. As Jimin and Jungkook stood together for the final behind-the-scenes photos, the staff quietly agreed on one thing: millions of ARMY would absolutely fall in love with Merry Go Around, not only because of the beautiful visuals or the music itself, but because every single scene carried the sincerity, professionalism, and passion that made Jimin and Jungkook truly unforgettable. As the final carousel lights slowly dimmed and the cameras were finally turned off, a quiet applause filled the studio once more. The exhaustion on everyone's faces was undeniable, yet no one could hide their admiration for, and after witnessing their dedication throughout the entire night. Even after hours of filming, the two of them still bowed respectfully to every staff member before leaving the set, thanking each person one by one for their hard work. The director later admitted that he had worked with countless artists before, but very few carried the same level of passion and professionalism as they did during the filming of Merry Go Around. And as the first sunlight of morning quietly entered the studio, everyone realized they had created more than just a music video that night. They had captured a story filled with sincerity, hard work, emotion, and unforgettable moments that ARMY around the world would soon treasure forever.